You leave a phimosis going. It's like, I mean, not Nadab, I just tested you on these words.
I know phimosis.
I know you do, but I'm not talking about phimosis.
You got too much cheese in the skin.
I'm talking about the spadius, the epispadius they call
cheese in the skin. Yeah. I'm sure that's not.
You got it right. You got them all right.
Hi, I'm Dr. Drew, and this is Dr. Drew After Dark. Please be advised that Dr. Drew After Dark may contain sexually oriented content and be unsuitable for young children.
Welcome, everyone. It is Dr. Drew After Dark. Keep these emails coming. Of course, they are too much. drafterdark@gmail.com and the phone number 818-253-1693. We do,
Yeah.
Hi, Christina P, of
Hi.
course.
I know.
It's a little bit hot in here, is it not?
Well, you're just wearing your hot white shirt today,
Talk to me about white shirts.
I love it. I love a clean button down. I used to wear these when I went to Catholic school, the Oxford collar. Now, that's not an Oxford collar because you can't button down the collar.
Isn't Oxford any?
Mm-hmm. You button
You have
the
to
buttons
I
down.
just call that a button down.
Oh, it's an Oxford collar.
Those are the only Oxford ones. They're the true from a true Oxfordite.
Hardly. A year abroad.
So let me ask you something.
Sure.
Are you happy?
I am getting there. Yeah, I'm happy because I'm doing stand-up.
You seem happy.
Yeah, I'm like back
You're
to
glowing.
my life.
You're glowing.
I got bangs. I'm back to life. I'm working on this nose ring sitch that my husband wants me to do. Can I ask you something in your marriage?
Yeah.
What's grosser
in
to
my
you?
marriage.
Like between you and Susan, what's grosser to you?
Go ahead.
You're in bed.
Nothing much is gross to me. I'm
well,
sure
you're a guy.
You know, right. So I just want to warn you that I'm probably like your husband that way.
Okay.
But go ahead.
What's grosser objectively? Somebody lying in bed with a flossing stick, one of those nice flossing sticks to you know what I'm talking about.
The wire brushy
gum
ones
one?
or the wood ones, the wood.
No. The nice wire rubbery, not the
No. The gum. There.
Whatever. Oh, it's a stick, okay? There it is.
There it is.
Gum
Soft picks.
Yes, okay. You're watching.
The wood ones are better.
The Crown.
I'd have some notes for you.
Okay. Well, shit. Hold on. But hear me out. Here's the scenario. Yeah. You're watching your wife, and she's flossing, and then you see her casually just drop it on the floor next to her, next to the bed. Or you see your wife sitting in your car, picking her nose, and then rolling the boog, and then throwing it on your car floor. What's grosser objectively?
The car floor objectively is worse.
Oh, wow.
However, both are such impressively male behaviors. I would have a million questions. I would be like, wow, this is awesome. I've never seen you drop material outside the bed.
I don't think your wife would, but your wife would not do that.
I've never seen her pick her nose. I've never seen that. I'm sure she does it, but I've never seen that.
Well,
probably rolling the booger and flicking it or something. That's right. That's probably probably but rare enough that I've really never seen it. So that's rare.
Very rare.
38 years together. That's pretty rare.
Yeah.
Now the dumping trash on the side of the bed.
Yeah.
It's very interesting.
What do you?
It's interesting because the only thing I've ever seen of a sort of unkept nature when it comes to the bed is Fritos. Fritos will show up in the bed.
But she'll eat Fritos in bed.
Yeah.
That's not unsanitary.
No, nothing unsanitary about it, but just unlike her.
Right.
Like that's her draw. She would never drop one of those toothpicks. It's just a toothpick, for Christ's fucking sake. And so I'd be impressed.
Yeah.
No, it's not that I don't like it. I love it.
You'd be like, see, no,
you're expanding your repertoire. I'd be like, whoa, this is a change.
This is a new behavior.
It would catch my attention. That's the point. I would not like it. It would just capture my attention.
Difference.
Yeah, I was like, whoa, what else is different here? What else are we into now? We're expanding your repertoire.
So you'd be excited. Yeah, because Tom also knows all my gross behaviors. Yeah. And then a few nights ago, he's never seen me do it. Now I've been doing it for a few months.
Dropping
them next to my bed.
Yeah.
And he caught me doing it and was like, "That is the grossest thing I've ever seen." And I go, "Wait a minute. Aren't you the one that you get in my car and he picks his nose, rolls the boogies, and then leaves them in my car?"
How do you know?
I've seen him do it.
Seen him do it, but you haven't found the boogies.
No, but I've seen him do it, and I've seen the boogie just chunk down there. And I'm
course.
like, that is so much more foul, in my opinion.
It is.
As a behavior.
Way more.
Thank
but
you.
I don't think there's a male that doesn't do that.
I know.
That's the unfortunate part. So if you want a male to drive your car, better be a very short stance, because eventually the finger's going up the nose.
Yeah.
That's unfortunate.
That's okay. I pick my nose too. I just wouldn't have.
I don't want to hear about it.
Okay.
That I don't need to hear about because
The entire control room says boogers are less gross than the dental floss on
What's
the
wrong with you
pick
guys?
on the floor.
Well, you know, it's everyone picks their nose. Not everyone treats the floor like an open trash can. I think that's the difference.
These guys need a girlfriend, all of them.
Yeah.
I don't understand how that would fix it, Drew.
Because
How would that fix it?
Estrogen changes so much. Trust me.
Zolo does have a girlfriend, and you know what? He thinks it's fucking gross, right?
Zolo, come on. If you're a girlfriend, forget if it's gross for Christina to do or not. Would you really, let's say your girlfriend is getting in bed, you guys lying there, you figure there's something coming soon.
Yeah.
She drops the brush, the toothpick brush. Are you even going to say anything? You're not going to you're not going to break stride, Zolo.
No, he's not, because that means that she's going to get upset and he's not going to get his dick
correct.
touches.
And then it's just going to let it
D
go.
touches, right, Zolo?
I would definitely say something.
Oh my God.
Yeah, nasty as hell, dude.
Oh, so Zolo's gay. I didn't know that. So it's incredible. So that's fantastic. So, okay. Well, okay. That's good. I mean, it takes a village here. It's
Hey,
good.
what do you think about Nadav's severe obesity qualification to get the vaccine?
He and I did a whole show on
Yeah, I
this.
heard.
But it
He's
was
getting
his
close to his goal weight, though.
It was his best. It was his best appearance ever. I suggest you look at it.
I'm so glad you think that.
It was very good, and I signed up for what his plan was. I signed up for it, but there was a lot of work we needed to do. There was not just the food.
Yeah.
There was a lot of stuff going on.
I
Are you
gotta
aware of this?
listen. Let me listen.
Yeah, you listen and bring some notes back for
Okay,
us.
this is a nice teaser for the episode in case you haven't heard it.
Yeah.
Nadav gets a full talking to about his health.
Yeah, and then we play a game that Zolo said it was really good.
Oh,
really good game.
okay.
That I say is a convention for when you're not here.
Okay, I
That we
can't
play
wait.
These games.
I can't wait.
Yeah, so-
Severely obese.
Severely
What
obese.
a great word choice. I love the scientific community used to have no sensitivity, and I like that.
Yeah,
I have a question, Drew,
Funny
actually.
shit.
When did it change from morbidly obese to extremely obese? Because I realized those are the same BMIs to describe.
Yeah,
that level of
I
obesity.
don't. I think morbid implies like imminent demise.
Right,
Like
that's
if you
what
don't
I
do
would
something
say.
soon,
That's what I
you're
would
in
say.
trouble. Morbid means like death.
Yeah.
Deadly obese.
Now, is there like a terrorism?
I don't know formally though. To tell you the truth.
So there is no like terrorism scale. Remember, like
Orange,
high
red,
risk, yeah,
red.
like severely obese.
Yeah.
Above that is clearly morbidly.
Yeah. Off
And
the
then
scale.
you're super fat. You're kind of fat.
Well, and you know what's weird about the whole fat thing right now? We should find some TikToks about this.
about fatness.
Yeah,
you got it.
because done. Because
Let me get it. Level red.
oh my God! Now that you're on
Obese.
the road too, it's gonna be
Obese.
It's gonna be on
Oh,
with
the
you in the
talks?
plane.
Well, you can't say that fatness is unhealthy now.
That's what I was gonna say.
You're not allowed to even say that.
No, it's a construct like gender, and so I am actually I'm weirdly on the fence with this because
Okay.
I'm very sensitive to the idea that there's nobody more discriminated than fat people. They get it worse than anybody.
Yeah.
And no one has ever really come to their aid ever. And this is sort of coming to their aid a little bit. I like the idea that everyone is in their version of who they are and they should be loved and accepted and glorified in their state. But to deny, and the medical issues are more complicated than you might imagine. And this is sort of what they're complaining about. There's something called the obesity paradox. You ever heard of this?
No.
Obesity people who are obese tend to live longer than the rest of us.
I heard that's the opposite. You don't
Look-
see old.
Look
You don't
up
see
obesity
old.
paradox. Look.
But you don't see old
Look.
fat people.
Look. It's a hypothesis, to be fair.
It's a hypothesis.
But
It's counterintuitive.
and to be fair, it probably doesn't take into account the current day stuff where there's people are so obese they're having all kinds of medical problems when they're young, right? So I would argue that if you're having the obesity, in other words, reverse epidemiology, kind of protective, associated greater survival in certain groups, yeah. It can be, but it depends what we're talking about by obesity and sort of the degree of fatness now has sort of gotten out of control where people are getting diabetes and hypertension and stuff when they're like 19.
Yeah.
That's not going to go well, right?
That's not good. And
So-
that's directly correlated to being obese, no? Those sicknesses.
Yeah, but plenty of this is why it's on the fence. Lots of obesity people have low blood pressure and low cholesterol
That's wild.
and do not develop insulin resistance. Now, I think this is what I wanted. This is why I brought this up. I think the COVID epidemic brought it into focus in a new way, right? Because if you were obese, you died. It was kind of, and so now we think about this as an inflammatory organ, right? This is inflammation going on all the time and affects your cardiovascular health. What freaks me out a little bit is I always thought I was kind of thin, like I was at least controlling it.
Yeah.
I kind of. I have metabolic syndrome, right? I'm hypercholesterolemic, hypertension, insulin resistant, and I carry stuff right here. I think we have to really pay attention to people like me based how bad my COVID was. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If I were 70, that'd be one thing, but I was not 70.
No, far from it.
Far from it.
Hello.
Anyway, I've said enough. Is that your COVID?
Yeah,
is that
I
the
love
good COVID
it.
update for the day?
I love it.
There's more updates we have to
All
do.
right,
but,
let's talk.
You know,
Like now we're back to caring about the stuff that matters, like Meghan Markle.
yeah,
and
so let's talk about that.
No. Don't get me started on that one.
Well, let's talk a little bit
Too
about
fired up about.
Really?
Well, I'm too. Not today.
You're watching lots of pods and.
I'm so in.
Why? Why are you so
I love
into
the
it?
royal family. I'm
You
a huge
do?
Anglophile. Well, yeah, I lived in England. I'm an Anglophile. I adore. You should see my mug collection. It's all the royals. I have one that commemorates Markle's wedding to Harry.
Did you go to Harrods or something to get that? Where'd you go?
I ordered them on Etsy.
By the way, I
love them all.
Nadav, I want Etsy. I see these Etsy commercials now, and I decided I want a new website. If you can get the address for me, Nadav, called Hazarai.com.
What's that?
That sounds so Jay.
Hazarai. It just means garbage.
Gosh, are you? Wait a minute. But as a lover of all gay things, I'm surprised you're not interested in Etsy. I've been thinking a lot about your gay inclinations.
I don't really know it. Maybe I don't know what it is. It's like Hazarai to me.
Oh.
What is it?
I don't know what that is.
It just looks like just random garbage to me. I don't mean in a bad way. I mean people. It just looks random, like nothing.
It's like silly. Do you like to shop for
No, I
tchotchkes?
hate
Oh, you're not a
shopping.
shopper. Okay, so you're not into
I'm the gayest straight man. You got to understand.
I
It
know.
doesn't come in all gay flavors. Where I'm at, it's certain areas I'm super gay, and then I'm super straight in other areas. You understand?
Oh, I do. I understand.
Musical comedy, super gay.
Super gay.
Super gay. Appeal for the female form, super straight.
Super straight.
Super straight.
Okay.
Shall I eat your pussy?
Oh boy. Oh boy.
That is a quote from The Great, everybody. That is a quote. I suggest you watch that show. It's very good. It's from The Great.
And it's a
So me
period
off.
piece.
So
Wow.
So
Drew.
why? So you're Anglophile. It's funny. I'm
love
sort of a my intermediate gayness. I'm a Francophile, which is
I
interesting.
like that too. Mm-hmm. I do. I like all that stuff too.
Yeah, it's a little
Yeah.
different, but I really kind of dig
What's your boner for?
the language and the literature and the architecture
Yeah.
and the historical sweep, which I like for England too. I dig that. Yeah, that's my boner.
Okay.
Put that in a drop, please. But anyway, you seem very happy. You seem glowing and happy. And,
I'm back to my life. Like I'm on the road.
yeah, kids are good.
Everybody's great. The
Yeah.
kids are having a great time together. They're finally really
That
jamming.
won't last. Any what?
I know. But they're playing, and which is really a good rest for mom
I know
now.
Tom called me out of the blue and wanted a sushi bar in Pasadena. I don't know what he's doing out there.
I don't know what he was fucking doing out there too.
Sorry. Your son he was with your kid, so it could have been too much.
Okay, that's
Your son one of your sons wanted sushi.
Oh
so,
yeah, that's the older one. Yeah.
Yeah, so I sent him to Roku. So give him some
That's a good
fancy
one.
sushi. Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like life is resuming, and I'm really I'm happy that I give a shit about the Royals again. You know what I mean? I'm happy to be free to care about the things I usually care
I
about.
just think I think we can say this safely. Look, we would join in on all the the what's the word they use so much, problematic stuff that went on. It's more than problematic. There's overtly racist stuff. Things need to be adjusted clearly in that royal family. Fine. But if I were a psychologist looking at old Harry, I would just say, dude, he is setting up this thing with his dad where he's angry that dad didn't save mom. That's the setup. And so he's now busy saving his wife and his child, and dad does not support it. So now he can justify his rage toward his dad. That's what you're going to see.
See, this is why, okay, for those of you who are not interested in the royal family, I get it. We're Americans. No one gives a rip. But it's this dynamic that interests me, what you're speaking about. It's the drama. I love the family drama. And I think as a daughter-in-law and as a parent too, like it's wild that she would put her in-laws on blast that hard. Like that's another one where you go like, yo, those are your new in-laws,
What did she say exactly?
Like,
I didn't get.
It's wild.
You mean some of the crazy stuff they were saying that she's now communicating publicly, or was there other stuff? I didn't really get into this.
So like the whole thing is, from what it distills down to, is by the rules of the monarchy, Meghan's son, Archie, is not entitled to princeship title yet until Charles becomes king. At which time he's absolutely entitled. However, it's rumored that Charles wants to whittle down the family and likely will not extend title to Archie.
Oh, he could choose
whittle
that.
down the family.
That's interesting.
Because the taxpayers don't want to pay for extended royals. So that's why this is an issue. So she's throwing in like, and P.S. they were racist, da 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 da. And you're like, this is just a lot of dirty laundry to be airing that generally, like, you never see the Queen of England. She's never given an interview. Never. So for Diana to do it in the 90s was explosive. And for Meghan to do it now, like, if you're into this shit, for me, this is my Super Bowl. And I'm like all fucking geeked out for the last 3 days. Tom knew to record it for me on the DVR, but I didn't even have to ask. He was like, yes.
Your husband loves you.
Oh, that's what I said. I'm like, you know me, you see me. So I am just like, I'm loving it. I'm loving this drama. It's my soap opera.
And back to the road. Is your stand-up in getting all this stuff into it?
Nobody gives a fuck about the royals.
Is your stand-up evolving? And is there a lot of COVID and that kind of stuff? Is there
nobody? My feeling is we've all heard about this shit for a year.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk about it.
So what's in your new? Wait, give me some hints.
Okay, let's give it juicers. So I'm gearing up to film my next hour, which I was going to do this time last year and was on.
Do we have a name for it?
No, not yet. Not yet. That's the hardest part, is naming a special. So if you have any suggestions.
You have the stuff on the wall there.
The Old Whore was one of them.
F my stoma.
Fuck my stoma. That's another great. Big titted animal. That's another one. I don't know if Netflix will approve that.
We just got kicked off YouTube. I don't know if Netflix will like it.
Oh shit! Canceled.
But
yeah, the world has changed in this 1 year. So there's some stuff I can't say anymore. You can't say it, or you don't.
What kind of stuff are you getting?
For instance, it used to be.
I'm just curious. Are you including more of your mom's house stuff into the stand-up?
I do. There's some Easter eggs.
Yeah.
There's some big Easter eggs for fans, and I'm gonna put them in there.
Yeah, because this has such a rich territory,
There's a lot.
And your other ones didn't have so much of this. You just
at the time it was like, can we sneak this past?
Yeah.
The firm, the institution.
You mean Netflix or
Netflix?
Yeah.
But they don't. Yeah, it's worked in now very quickly.
Where are you going to do it?
I can't tell. I'm not allowed to reveal.
Can I go? Is what I'm going to ask.
For sure.
Do I have to travel to go?
Yeah.
Okay, so we have to talk about that.
We'll see.
Okay, all right. That'll be so fun. That'll be great.
Yeah. What kind of gay stuff were you into lately? What are you watching?
I've been. Let me see. I haven't. I feel like there was some gay stuff I was doing.
That's fine. I've been thinking about it so much. Like
it's on TikTok. My gay stuff is on TikTok.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's where it is now.
Okay.
So, I have fallen deep.
What kind?
I'm watching people tap dance and dance. Very gay.
That's the
very
fucking gay shit ever, bro.
Yeah. Thank you.
Good morning, my dick.
You're watching people tap dance?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, and that's fun for you? Like, you're like, oh, this is like.
I got hooked on it while I was sick. And let's see if anything else. What else?
And are you excited because you're like, oh, I could do that? Like, you're learning moves.
You kind of look. I worry about my motor function from the sickness, and so I was sort of think like I should go get some shoes and do this. And
I would love for you to start tap dancing.
So I did it.
Do you have tap shoes now? Guys, did you know in your wildest dreams, like, Dr. Drew's going to tap dance?
But I did it like 3 times, and then I stopped. I really was worried about my coordination. I really was worried about it.
It wasn't that your penis was going to fall off?
Because I put shoes on, tap shoes on. That's what could have happened.
That it would turn into a vagina?
That's what could have... That almost happened.
So what do you wear when you tap? What were you wearing?
It's just sometimes if I'm working out and I think of it, I got to get on my feet under me because I'm dizzy all the time stuff. So I use that as a sort of physical rehab thing.
And did you?
But it's the gayest physical rehab of all time. I didn't do anything. I just threw the shoes on and did. My thing.
Like in shorts, so it was like gym shorts and
jeans. Actually, jeans.
Jeans.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
I could barely do a time set.
Please, man.
I could barely do a time set.
Kickball change.
Yeah.
What are the words? Patamaran, chickamadoos. I took tab for a minute when I was 6. Kickball change.
Oh, this is embarrassing.
I know. That's why I love it.
I know. That's why I share it with you.
Did you hide this from your wife? Or?
I don't think she knows. Yeah. I literally did it like 3 times. But there's more gay stuff. Oh, a lot of Disneyland stuff on my TikTok feed.
Oh,
like, interviews with cast members and things, how they got their jobs. I don't know why I get this. My boyfriend has a pretty big dick. Let me think. Let me quickly go on my TikTok and see what
do you
comes
like?
up. What do I what?
Like what part of the Disney interviews excite you? Is it which characters? Are you looking for certain characters?
No, I sort of these women that clearly have like eating disorders and depression talking about how they were mistreated as, how stressful it was to be a character.
Oh, I've seen that, Lane.
Yeah.
Yeah, where they're like, can you believe it?
Oh,
they wanted me to weigh 120
They know me.
pounds.
They know me. Look what comes right up.
Yeah.
Read that.
The Life.
No, you missed the
Musical theater history.
There
The
you
Life.
go. There you go. They know me on TikTok.
God. Yeah, but those Disney ones, I have like.
And this is my virologist friend. So I actually
that's
brought him
cool.
on my stream. He's very good.
So he tells you
Dr.
sciencey
Knock,
stuff.
He does a very good, concise virology update every day.
But what I love about those Disney people, they're like, I worked for Disney.
Yeah.
And I was a princess.
Yes.
And they had the nerve to make me, they weighed me. I could only weigh 130 pounds.
Yeah.
Like, well, yeah, you're a princess on a float, dipshit.
Not,
Did you
not
think
a
you
fl-
could be
not a
180?
princess on a float. Then there's the ones that come in and defend it. Like, well, that's why the costumes are made, and that's what I have to look like the cartoon. They should change the cartoons.
I know, so stupid.
So,
They need to change it.
they sign off that they have to look like the cartoon, and you can't be Jessica Rabbit, not look like Jessica Rabbit.
Correct.
But they just think we should change Jessica Rabbit.
Forget it.
And we should cancel her with
Snow
Pepe,
White.
Pepe Le Pew.
He's canceled.
And he is canceled. And maybe
I
you've been
know.
on the road long enough.
I know.
Pepe's gone. Dumbo's
there's
gone.
a joke in the act already. Don't worry about it. It's already been addressed.
All right, good.
Jessica Rabbit's problematic. She's too sexy.
She's problematic. God, that word problematic is so passive aggressive.
I
It's a
know.
really seriously problematic word.
Oh, and Lola the bunny got 86'd too.
Oh, did she? Because she's too, provocative?
She's a hoe.
She's
She a hoe.
Hoes are no good anymore?
Yeah, she was too sexy in the first one, so they unsexed her up for the new one.
Okay, well, whatever. So, Nadav, you got some issues too, right?
Don't I?
He, as it pertains to the social media, or did it start on social media for you? Is that how this works?
So I don't know why.
Here we go.
I don't know why. It's
Anything
always
starts-
the beginning of a great problem.
But I love when I get, like when my phone says spam likely, I get really excited. And
Like in a text or a phone call?
like a phone call.
Whoa.
Because I like to pick it up and I try and get connected with a person so that I could talk to them.
Talk to them or fuck with them?
A little bit of both.
Okay.
Like I usually
Are you-
channel like my like Conald Peterson, like Fed Smoker. I usually do that voice. And I try and get them to curse at me. And then there's like clear fake Instagram accounts that that DM me that they're like fresh accounts. They're like 1 day old. They follow like they have 0 followers, 0 posts, all of that.
So and some hot chick.
Yeah, it's usually a hot trick just trying to catfish whoever.
And what if
And I try to pretend to be bait that's
And what if it's a real person?
There's no way.
No
it's
way,
real.
okay.
No.
It's some guy in Nigeria.
Yeah.
It's not even
Yeah.
a girl.
So what I do is I just respond back in all caps and pretend that like I'm having a lot of technical difficulties.
Well,
And-
trying to catfish a catfish just makes sense to me. That's just a little entertaining.
So what's wrong with?
Like, what's
But-
wrong with him?
But we know that Nadav needs a little therapy, right? A little bit
Yeah,
of
he's in
therapy.
therapy.
I'm in therapy.
Good, because there are behaviors manifesting that he does not understand, and they're coming from something, and we have to get at that something first, and that's something I don't know yet. In other words, there's a traumatized piece of him or something, or a disconnected piece that is itching to come out.
Yeah. Well, a little cue to that is the phrase, I don't know why, but.
Yeah.
I've noticed whenever I say that in therapy, that's an issue from yesteryear. This is not
Well,
today.
of course.
It's
And
a
that's when the therapist goes,
deep-
oh, really? We're going to be on this for a while.
Juicy.
Yeah, when you have behavior that you really don't get, it's not that it's coming from something. It's
Yeah.
coming from somewhere. And, you know,
Yeah.
sometimes it's, you just like heroin. But you know what I mean? Sometimes it's, as Freud said, sometimes a cigar
is just a
good
cigar.
smoke, right?
Right.
But more often than not, if it's a complex behavior, it's coming from some part of
Deep.
yourself that's left behind. And you're not in touch with.
You're not
and
integrated.
You're not
fully.
integrated, and it's left behind, and it's bringing the behaviors forth as a way of getting attention or getting fed or getting its needs met, that kind of thing.
Right.
And you just experience the gratification. Like, I don't know why that's so gratifying to me, but it is to destroy people on the other end of a phone line.
So you may want to bring that up in therapy, Nadav.
That sounds like I'm definitely know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, he's got to bring up some other stuff that we talked about in the show when he was on. He's got some more pressing matters.
Do you just want to send the link to your therapist from the show? And...
I mean, Drew, I don't think the stuff that we talked about was that big of a problem. I think this this liking spam stuff is worse than my gambling.
Right. Hilarious. Okay, I like how he decides what's more severe.
Right.
That's always a good sign.
It's a great sign.
Well, it's interfering with my life. You know,
one I want to deal with, the other I don't want to deal with.
Right. One's accessibly easy to. Yeah. I mean, it's he's so
we went pretty far down the road.
Jesus Christ!
Let me give you an email. Let's get into this here. I can feel gas around under my rib cage.
I have this too.
Okay, eventually I fart, but it's uncomfortable. I can't sleep at night. I've tried a quarter teaspoon of baking soda.
Yeah. I'll tell you what to do.
How about some simethicone, some gas X?
Yes, that's what you take.
Yeah.
But simethicone is fancy for I prefer Gas X. Yeah. Phasime. That product is the only one that really is
Phazyme's a good one.
red pill take too.
I've tried Benefiber. That's a good move. Metamucil, but I think that made it worse. Just pressure. I'm terrified something will pop in it. You will not rupture your colon. Trust me, you will not. I love the way people they're so disconnected from their body. They're like, there's something coming out of my body. It's a feeling. I can't stand it. It's going to pop. It's going to explode. It's scary, my body.
It's scary.
It's not scary. I'm terrified something will pop. Oatmeal for breakfast. Incredibly stressed at work right now, which is probably
causing the gas.
All of it.
Well, what else is causing?
You got it, Frank.
Also, Frank, look for what's causing your gas. Oatmeal would give me that problem. Also, what would happen if I was having dairy and I would lay down, like for bedtime, I would get that gas pain too. So also look at what you're eating before you lay down, because I'm assuming that's when you're getting that pain or sitting for a long time.
My ex-boyfriend used to try to have sex with me when I was asleep.
Cool guy.
In his sleep. I beg your pardon.
That's kind of fun.
Well, now let's think about this. Which is more cool?
Nocturnal emissions.
Well, some men like women sleeping. Is a fetish.
Right.
Yeah. And now if she really is sleeping and he has sex with her, is that rape?
If he's really sleeping.
Now, that's the other condition. He's really sleeping.
That's what she's saying.
That's what this guy is. This guy is actually asleep and has sex. That happens also. But she must be consenting to it in some way. But I'm asking if she's asleep and that's what he likes.
It's got to be consent is the central issue.
So consent has to be rendered while everyone's awake.
Yeah, and I would even argue that him doing something in his sleep isn't consent. So then.
Oh, unless she ahead of time.
Right. They're like, you can do this. We're all good.
One time I was pulling my pants down and I'm like, not right now. And he sat straight up in the air, dead asleep, had no recollection next morning. Another time he pulled my shirt down and started licking my nipple. It was super uncomfortable. I blame myself. Women,
always
stop. Ladies, stop. Because I had no libido with him in the daytime, so I thought it was pent up. Well, it's pent up. It doesn't excuse this. It sort of explains it. It doesn't excuse it. It's called sleep sex. It is common. Anything you can do in your sleep, you can do. Anything you can do awake, you can do asleep. Driving, eating, sex, everything.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
You can drive while asleep.
People drive while asleep. Talk to Tiger Woods.
Is that right?
Yeah, that's what happened to him. Yeah.
Oh, I did not know.
But now he was on medication that made him sleep, but still he was driving asleep. Had no idea where he was, didn't know what he was doing. And that was the first time down in Florida. This last time he says he doesn't remember driving.
Wow.
Maybe asleep again. I don't know. And I'm not talking about falling asleep while you're driving. I'm talking about getting in the car while you're asleep.
That is terrifying.
Yeah. People can sleepwalk. People can go outside.
Wow.
And people can have sex. And it's a pretty common thing. It's called sleep sex. And it's disturbing for the partners sometimes. And it's very hard to get them to stop. You have to tie it's hard because
tie their boners down to their legs. You started to say it. You're like,
well, I was going to say try their hand to the bedpost, but why don't we you're right. I should be more pragmatic about this and just really corral the penis because that's the problem. That's the source of the problem. It's not his hand. Yeah, well, sometimes. But anyway.
That's a dangerous condition. Do you know how many people have this condition approximately?
Nadav, look that up for me. I mean,
what's the percentage?
Incidence of sleep sex.
Or just sleep drive. I mean, I did not know. When I was a kid, I used to sleepwalk and I would watch television.
Oh, there it is.
But I didn't know that.
8% of people had a Canadian sleep disorder. Yeah.
That's fairly significant.
That's amongst people with sleep disorders, right? Right, which is already a small percentage of people. So it's probably well less than 1% for sure. Sleep sex, understanding sexsomnia. The sexsomnia is kind of a new term. It's considered rare. One study found 8%. Keep in mind, study only includes people at a certain, Seeking help. Doing things you can't recall while you're asleep can be alarming.
Okay.
Behavior is harmless. Masturbating. You know, one of the things I remember about my neurosurgery rotations, we had lots of people in comas. You know, I mean, hundreds, all kinds of states of coma and things. And the males, when they would be in waking coma, which is what you get to before you wake up, but you're still in coma. It's very, you know, it's why things drive me crazy on TV.
Yeah.
He's awake. He's
like, hey guys, what's up? Like, it's not like that.
No, not at all. And so when they're in waking coma, the first thing that happens to the male is they start grabbing the schwanz. First thing.
Yes.
Yeah, they're not really masturbating. They're just sort of into it.
Like it's there. It's there.
Yeah, so there's so much neurological energy. It's like a loop, you know, that they're responding to the environment, and that's what they respond to.
So what does it look like when a person really does come out of a coma?
It depends how much brain damage they've had, right? I mean, you know, and what kind of brain damage, whether it's global or focal, that kind of thing. And always severely impaired, right? I mean, like you can maybe get them to squeeze your hand if you're lucky. You may be able to get them to follow in the room, these kinds of things. You may get some verbalizations, but you're not going to go, what happened?
Yeah, they don't speak like that. That's what I've heard. Wow.
And it can be long periods of time of waking coma where they're just sort of out, you know, they're awake, they look at you, but you can tell they're not there. So wow. Yeah. They even track sometimes too. They can do stuff. It just depends what level the brain has started coming back online. Hey, mommy, is 24 years old, having some issues with my penis. Started some new anxiety medication, buspirone, to help my anxiety. But on top of anxiety, I'm having some serious performance anxiety with my girlfriend. Let's see. I love my girlfriend, having sex, but it's gotten to the point where I feel helpless. It's the buspirone. You got to talk to your doctor about it. That's it. She's supportive, which is rare. That's good. Women usually blame themselves again for if the guy's penis isn't working. It never. How many times have I educated you properly on this?
We talk about this a lot. That women always blame themselves when a man is unable to function sexually. The woman goes, "I must not be desirable enough."
Right. And what percentage? I've educated you carefully on this.
0.0.
Thank you. All right. So again, he ends his email with anal starts at 50. So I appreciate that. Appreciate the nod.
Anal starts at 50.
The mommies are so good with the secret handshakes and stuff. They are really good with it.
Heck yeah, dude.
In case you don't speak Russian, I just learned that drug means friend. I learned it from Babbel, the #1 selling language learning app. One of my goals for the new year is to learn a new language, and Babbel has made the whole process fun, easy, with bite-sized lessons that you'll actually use in the real world. That's right. You want to be able to speak the language. You know, that's all you really care about, right? Babbel's 15-minute lessons make it the perfect way to learn a new language on the go, in your car. That's where I do most of it. Unlike the infamous language classes you took in high school, Babbel designs their courses with practical, real-world conversation in mind. Things you'll use in everyday life. Other language apps use AI for their lesson plans, but Babbel lessons were created by over 100 language experts. Their teaching method has been scientifically proven to be effective. And with Babbel, you can choose from over 14 different languages, including Spanish, French, Italian, German. Plus, Babbel's speech recognition technology helps you improve your pronunciation and accent. It's fantastic. Start your new language learning journey today with Babbel. Right now, when you purchase a 3-month Babbel subscription, you'll get an additional 3 months for free. That's 6 months for the price of 3. Just go to Babbel.com and use promo code DREW. That is BABBEL.com, code DREW for the extra 3 months free. Babbel.com. Do it today. Well, if you're unhappy with your smile, you do not have to be. Thousands of people have used Candid. Clear, comfortable, removable, practical, invisible aligners. I did it. It's really convenient. It's easy. They help straighten your teeth, and you'll love your smile. You will. Just like Justin from Atlanta, Georgia, he says, when I was younger, I used to have a gap in the front and on the side. I noticed people always look at my mouth first, so I was looking for a fix. Candid ended up being the perfect company for me. You can't stop me from smiling now. There is no comparison. There's Justin. I'm happy. Your treatment is prescribed and closely monitored remotely by a licensed orthodontist who's an expert in tooth movement. You'll have the same quality of care you'd get from an in-office orthodontist from the comfort and convenience of your own home. And while other companies use general dentists, Candid only works with orthodontists. With Candid, the same orthodontist who created your plan is with you from start to finish, so you never have to wonder how you're doing. The average Candid treatment is just 6 months. You'll start seeing results way before then, and it costs thousands less than traditional braces. Become your best you. Straighten your teeth today. Right now, you can save $75 on Candid's starter kit. Go to CandidCo, that's CandidCo.com/Dr. Drew.
Then use code Dr. Drew. This is a limited time offer to save $75 on your starter kit. CandidCode.com/Dr. Drew. Code Dr. Drew. Do it today. Really weird thing happens. My fiance is going down on me, Jaying my D.
Wait, so hold on. She's going down on you.
Yeah, I'm just figuring, or hand job, it sounds like. Jaying my D.
Oh, okay.
She does it more than about 3 minutes. When I'm on my back, I get intense tingling feeling in my lips. I quickly spread to my cheeks, up my nose, eyes. Eventually, my face gets super tingly, almost like it's about to go numb. The feeling is so intense, my eyes water, and they start to cry.
Wow.
This never happens during intercourse or if she's gobbling my nut. They're all poets. I'm standing or sitting. It doesn't happen. What the hell is going on? Say hi to Cheryl, Nadav, and the boys in the booth for me. But nod to you guys. Live Life 365.
That's a newer one. Live Life 365, baby. So what's going on with this,
it's an autonomic dysfunction or arousal of some type. I mean, blood vessels move open and close. Like some people get their nose gets congested because the blood vessels are opening up. There's something going on. I wonder if a couple things occur to me. Could be some vasodilation. His blood pressure could be dropping. Could be he's breathing a little more with that particular activity than he's used to doing. And all you have to do is do a couple breaths more a minute, and you will start to feel numbness of your face. Something like that. I would not worry about it.
So don't worry about it, dude.
Yeah,
enjoy your D being Jade.
There you go.
Yeah.
Your D being Jade.
Yeah, bro. What you worry about, homie?
So can we see a couple
Getting them
of
dick
clips?
touches.
So we have actual YMH clips here.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do it.
I would like the first one. I would like you to see the first one.
Okay, armless mukbang.
It's pretty impressive.
Armless mukbang. Am I supposed to know what that is?
Yeah, I really do not like getting my feet messy, but I know y'all love these seafood mukbangs. So I gotta give it to y'all every time. I do. I don't like this messiness now.
Oh,
Wow.
I can't do that with my hands.
No, it's pretty good. It's amazing, right? It's amazing. Yeah. It's a huge talent.
Oh, good
It's a
for
huge
People
her.
just listening. What are you guys watching?
Probably a 25-year-old African American woman with no arms using her feet as digits and cracking crab and pulling crab meat out in a way that I can't do with my fingers.
Pretty miraculous.
Miraculous.
Now, upon second viewing, because we watched this clip on YMH, I did not notice how long her toenails are.
Oh, because she
that
can't clip them. She has no arms to go clip 'em. She has to have somebody do it for her. Right?
Fuck.
Right?
Okay. Well, who cooked the crab for her then, too? I mean,
So this is her fingernails. This is her.
right? These are her fingernails. Oh man.
Yes, I like the thinking. I think you're onto it. Are they painted sparkly and red, white, blue
I'm
and
not
stuff?
sure. I can't see. But how do you feel about long toenails in general, just
I think you're right.
hygienically speaking?
Toenails are way more of an issue than you might imagine.
I think they are an issue. Well, I was going to say, because I've had a horrible pedicure where I got infected, and it was
infections
extremely painful.
across the lifespan, infections in the toes are a serious problem. And your
Serious?
feet being so far away from the rest of your body in terms of blood supply and immunological activity, when stuff goes down out there, particularly as you get older, it goes down bad.
Really?
It's very hard to treat and very hard to get under control. And funguses and bacteriums and the funguses get into the toenails with everybody. Essentially, everybody gets onychomycosis. And show me.
Oh God.
You ready?
Barf.
Are you ready?
Glad I
This
ate.
is going to be like her teeth, Rubicon. No, you didn't spell it right.
That's adenomyo.
O-N-I.
What?
There it is. First one down. O-N-Y. I beg your pardon. O-N-C-Y. There it is. Pictures. And
Oh yeah,
there we go.
I know. I've seen this before.
That's
My dad
everybody.
had this.
Yeah, everybody has it.
It's such a gross
and
one.
see that third one in that row that's up at the top right now is really most people end up like that if you live long enough. The next row down is sort of a fortunate group. Well, it's not so fortunate.
How do I not get this?
Yeah.
It's really. Are you
Don't
being
live
serious?
too long.
Seriously.
Here's what you do. When you notice the early changes, like did you see some of the earlier versions where the tip is just sort of turning white and getting a little weird and
Okay.
scraggly?
you get on a medication right away, or there's actually a nail polish you can use that helps to kill the fungus.
Okay.
But you got to get on it early, because after that it goes bad.
Like what age is early?
Whenever you first see it. Like I had a fungus in part of one of my fourth fingernails, and I was like, we're gonna get this right away. And it goes away pretty quick if you get on it early.
Dang. Okay.
But once you're prone to it, you are prone to it. You'll keep coming back.
Yeah.
So hey, good times.
Yeah, it's gnarly.
So how do we get off? Oh yeah, toenails.
But so she's got to clean under those nails after she's done with her mukbang.
No. She has to
have someone clean under those toenails, because she's
Right.
gonna have food stuck under them.
and sauce and stuff.
And sauce
Yeah,
and seafood.
Oh, why does it make me a little nauseated seeing her do this? It shouldn't.
It's a lot of eating. I mean, watching people eat is kind of gnarly.
I normally don't have a lot of feet problems, but there's
either.
something about this that is actually making me want to throw up.
Cool. Okay.
And it has something to do with the sauce. Strangely, I don't know what. All the sauce on her toes and stuff. That's sort of grossing me out.
Yeah.
But anyway,
It's still
yes,
a
she needs
talent.
to see a podiatrist and a beautician. Also,
Oh,
she
yeah.
should see both.
Well, even if you cut your toenails improperly, if you cut that big toenail rounded versus straight across, you'll get, what are those?
Ingrown toenails?
Those are so painful.
Yeah, I know, and that's sort of a genetic thing. Some people are really prone to them, and some are not. My son he had to have his toenails removed because they were so chronic. And when he was playing
Wow.
football and stuff, he'd get.
Oh, right. Yeah.
So,
Dang.
all right, let's see. Horrible or hilarious?
Dang. God.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
What's she doing? Oh, no. Oh. Oh. I like that she's tied up in her sweatshirt. still.
Yeah. No one's helping her. That guy's like, why? Why are you ruining my...
Yeah, you can't.
Bike.
Just on my 45-minute run here, I can't do it.
Yeah, you bitch. Yeah,
Well,
like no one cares.
First of all, that's people like at the desk watching the video.
Laughing. Yeah.
That's lovely.
I know.
Number one, that's the personnel at your gym, everybody.
Yeah.
they're watching you and they're laughing. Number two, it's hilarious.
It's hilarious.
It's hilarious.
Well, especially because I'm dumb enough to do I'm sure I've done the same thing.
It's uncanny how many things you can try on a treadmill that are dumb.
Yeah.
Because we all try dumb shit on
All the
treadmills.
time. I've
my
done
routine
this.
my routine drum move is to try to drink from a glass of water. And I don't seem to ever learn that that's physically impossible on a treadmill. Yeah, it just
I know.
all over my face. That's my recurrent stupid shit.
The other day I was watching my husband, who recently, I don't know if you heard, broke his arm and his leg. And he's on the elliptical and he's not holding on. And he's like looking and texting. And I was like, Tom, I'm going to have a heart attack
Here we
watching
go.
you do this. Stop. Stand still and do that or the other thing, not both.
Think how many times a wife has to say to their husband, Tom,
What are you
Drew, what is this? What is happening?
Makes
Yeah.
me crazy.
Yep. That's why males need a little estrogen around. We do.
I know.
We'll die young without it.
Speaking
We will.
of, I've been reading the book, The End of Gender. I think you had that woman on your podcast, didn't
Deborah
you?
So?
Yeah. I really
She's
enjoy
a
her.
good scientist.
And if you're interested in the whole gender stuff, what's happening, at the end of gender, it's a misleading title because it makes you think that she's pro.
Well, she tries to be non-denominational, but they
Yeah.
cast her as transphobic
Right.
because she dares to talk about science and what they're seeing in present time, in real time. She brings things right up to the present where she's concerned with things she's seeing clinically. So
It's really interesting. And she talks about gametes. Is that how you say it? Gametes?
gametes.
Gametes being what determines sex versus genitalia.
Right. That
What you
so
produce.
I'm a biologist by training, right? And so in biology, the gamete produced by a female biological agent is an ovum, and the gamete produced by a male biological agent is a spermatozoa. And there can be crossovers and mixed and all kinds of things, but we have as the basic fundamental of biological systems and how they reproduce this one thing. Has nothing to do with gender.
Right.
And there's all kinds of variations on that theme. And I started thinking about this, how the look, I'm a transgender ally, no harm meant, but but I'm also a biologist and a clinician. And so it's possible to be both. It's possible. That's what Deborah keeps saying, but she gets
Yes.
getting cast as a transphobic. But for instance, they're trying to make the people that have ambiguous genitalia. I've shown you all kinds of weird genitalia stuff, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And you shouldn't get that fixed. That's their natural state. They want to be. That's their trans state. And I started thinking, there are lots of midline errors of development with child development, right?
Yeah.
The midline is the last thing to develop. And so there's developmental problems of there can be gastroecthesis here. There can be the urethra that doesn't make it to the end of the penis. There can be cleft palates.
Right.
Shall we not correct any of that? Is that somehow something we should never have a surgeon do because that's not their natural state? That's not different than their cleft palate self? I mean, it's just so crazy. And by the way, tons of medical problems with not correcting it. And the earlier the better in terms of the outcomes and the complications.
Yeah.
I mean, you leave a phimosis going. It's like, I mean, not Nadav, I just tested you on these words.
I know phimosis.
I know you do, but I'm not talking about phimosis.
You got
I'm
too
talking
much
about,
cheese in the skin.
I'm talking about the epispadias, epispadias they call
Cheese in the skin.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's not.
You got it right. You got them all right. Anyway, so this thing that we can't correct because nature made it so. It's not something we can make normal, and normal has a lot of functionality to it and reduces medical complications. Forget appearances or identity.
Yeah.
It's just medically there's some issues when the peni is coming out of the base of your testicles. I mean the urethra.
I know.
That's all I'm saying.
I know.
So am I wrong?
No, I don't know if you're. I mean, you're not.
You're transphobic. You read Deborah
I'm so transphobic. I'm confused. I'm just trying to understand the world. That's all I'm trying.
Well, she's a very. I've interviewed her. And,
yes, I know.
Yeah, she's a very smart woman, and she's
brilliant.
Joe Rogan interviewed her
Yes,
and did a very good interview on her,
Yeah.
and she's just an interesting scientist. And you can agree or disagree with her science, but you shouldn't attack her as some sort of,
I know.
Anyway.
I know. I'm just trying to learn stuff.
Me too. Laughing gas.
When can I smoke weed again?
Sophia, stop. So that's actually a good question. If you can, what I don't want you to get is a dry socket.
Yeah. I
Those are
just
painful. It's not an infection.
smoke. Can I take edibles?
Better than smoking.
That's
You need to
lit.
try to avoid smoking for about a week.
Oh, wait. What about vaping, though?
Anything that's going to cause any sucking.
Jesus Christ. I can't suck dick either.
Sophia! Jesus. Shut up.
Stop talking. She's crying. I love her.
Yeah.
I love her.
Were any of your kids like this, where they're like, I can't vape?
No, they were.
suck
Thank
dick
God they were
for
not. But we'll see what happens when your boys grow up. Anyway, we need to find her.
I don't think so.
Come on.
Let her be.
Why am I the
No.
only one? Why am I the only one at your mom's house that wants to find these people and talk to them? And
You're the only weirdo that wants to actually
wanna
communicate
know more.
with these people.
I want to know more. I want to hear how she feels about that, and she looks back, and what does she think, and what's the feedback been to her now that this has made the rounds? Don't you want to know? Come on. A voice message. Give me a voice message. Speaking of people want to know.
Hey, Dr. Drew. My name is Justin. I'm out of Washington. And me and my fiance were actually just having this debate about our farts. I was wondering why when I fart, because I fart all the time and sometimes it's really big. Most of the time it's pretty big. And I want to know why they don't smell. They never smell.
Yeah.
And we're trying to wonder why.
Yes.
Denial.
No. Hold on. You, sir, are a unicorn. Congratulations. There is such a thing. And there's some people that they mostly get the air from swallowing it. They swallow the air, and they don't have the bacteria that's producing the gas that smells so bad. So they don't have all that methane being produced. They just have air that goes through them. And so, it's possible to have a non-smelly, large volume fart rather routinely. Now, you might want to try some Mexican or Indian food and see if you can get some scent going.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah, so.
Start there. Hey, do you believe, Nadav and I were talking on Where My Mom's At about how I've built a tolerance, a resilience against Korean food. And I believe I did that when I spent time in South Korea eating in the malls, the underground malls. I don't get diarrhea when I have Korean food.
Your gut does change. Yeah, it does. I don't know that that's good or bad, but it does change. Like I have, as I've aged, have got this weird intolerance to green onions, and garlic. Like it's gotten worse and worse and worse and worse to the point that if I touch my tongue to something, I'll get gas. It's very weird. Yeah. And,
So if I keep repeating, because I used to get diarrhea from Korean food, and then I just kept leaning into it and leaning into it and leaning, and then my body was like, cool, this is nothing.
That's definitely a young woman's thing.
Wow.
Yeah.
So if I were to do that now, I probably couldn't build such a tolerance.
And I was noticing on your mom's house,
Sure.
there's that black and white coat. That's been on there or a black and white
Adidas, my
blouse.
tracksuit.
What is that? Does she wear? Is that Show me
My
a picture.
Carmen San Diego.
I don't know, but I noticed
yesterday?
it. I felt left out. I thought thinking, oh, that shows up a couple times on your mom's house. That
Oh, and you'd like me to wear it on
I
our
thought,
show?
why don't you wear it on this show? It's like I felt a little left out.
Well, I got to look into this.
so-
Are the stripes horizontal?
It was a little Beetlejuice appearing.
Oh yeah,
a little Beetlejuice.
I wore that yesterday.
Yeah, right.
I bet that's on my feed.
Okay, let's see.
It's on my Instagram.
Is it a coat?
It's in my stories.
Did I pick it out right? It was a coat?
It's a coat over
over
my
something. Yeah.
sweater. There it is. Is that it?
No.
Oh, never mind.
It was definitely, it was really big, blocky stripes vertical, I think. There it is.
Oh, that one.
Yeah,
You're a
that one.
fan.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it showed up more than a few times, and I felt left
wow.
out.
You felt like you wanted to see that in person.
I thought maybe that was like something you reserved just for where my mom's at. No. And it made me feel jealous.
Oh, no. Oh, jeez.
Okay.
Well, I'll make sure to make a note of it. I don't want you to feel resentful, jealous.
So
whatever.
So you wanted to see the gay stuff. Here it is.
I love that
here I am.
Notice my wardrobe.
Here I am.
My husband of 15 years wouldn't even notice. Now, do you notice Susan's attired as well? Do you make requests?
Yeah, I'm nowhere near. She's got some skilled eye, right?
Big tits.
I like that.
that's
I like when it's I can see what I like. I dig
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
And that's always good. And I've gotten good at she. Right, she was a swimsuit fit model, right? At one time.
Yeah,
right?
no shit.
And so she has a museum of bathing suits, like bathing suits across the ages.
Like thongs?
Finish me off. Yeah, you name it, she got it, and it does not let up. That's an ongoing sort of a dedication, and so I've learned how to appreciate what she puts in there. That's good. It's
great.
good. So
Good.
I have very definite opinions about that. But
That's great. Okay.
and it's so funny. So Adam Carolla and I have been doing. I think I've told you this. We do these anthropological dives into Love Boat. We watch Love Boat episodes, then just sort of talk about them for an hour.
Sure.
And Jill St. John was on the other night.
Will you Google that?
Yeah, Jill.
Because
Show me a picture of her.
If I see it, I might
But
recall.
Jill St. John Love Boat bathing suit. Get
Just
that.
so I've watched every one of these episodes when they originally aired in the 80s as a child. So
You
it's
should
deep in
you
there.
should now watch them because you'll be astonished at what you were being fed. We're the whole time. There she is.
Oh, yeah, I remember this episode.
Yeah, okay,
and
the red suit. Let's do the red suit.
She gets with Doc.
Yeah. She
Oh,
tries.
no, sorry, that's
she
the
tries.
line.
She tries. There she is. And so Susan had all kinds of notes about that bottom. Like it's too low, or
It's
his ass is
terrible.
flat. You got to get higher on her head. I heard like a 5-minute disquisition on bathing suits.
But that was the style back in that time.
Not the Miss Spinsky
70s,
was
60s.
already into the other things by then. So there you go. Those are terrible. Poor woman.
suits.
Anyway, I think she ended up marrying what's her name's husband after she jumped off the boat and died. Natalie Woods, right?
Oh, wow.
Right.
I remember that.
I think she ended up marrying him.
The Love Boat, when you look at the ship now, was like a really cheap Carnival cruise.
They wouldn't put that on the water anymore.
Yeah,
it really is.
Look at the Love Boat
Yeah.
set.
Yeah.
What a shit dump.
Shit
of
dump.
A fucking dumpy
But you
boat.
have got to watch it.
There's a set.
There's the set. It's fantastic.
Wow.
We thought it was actually on a ship.
Oh, right. I would not have, as a kid, of course.
But you need to watch a couple episodes. Just grab a couple episodes
Well, I
because
will.
when you see how males and female, I mean, first of all, Doc is roofing and sexually assaulting everybody. And if he's not fighting, and he and Gopher are like fighting for passengers, does they come on the ship?
Yeah.
Like-
So-and-so's hot.
I mean, no. Like which one of us is gonna fuck her? Wow. And then one point, Gopher actually gets really enamored with this, and Doc is like, oh, you have feelings for her. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know. You go ahead.
So
I was
great.
like, this is so sick.
Yeah.
It is so sick.
Well, and also it's pre-AIDS, right? So
it's
which is cool.
Not pre-AIDS. That's what's even more astonishing. Is right as AIDS is breaking out everywhere, and I'm getting on the radio because I'm alarmed, and Dr. Fauci is telling me to get on the radio to educate people about what's happening here. Not in the Love Boat.
Not on the Love
It
Boat.
is on there. And
Well-
just the craziest. You see the attitudes that they had, and they were sort of glamorizing.
I
You
gotta
will
see
be.
it again. I wish
It
we could
is
watch
the
it.
most misogynistic, stunning, awful, disgusting anthropological study you
know.
could ever do. So
You know,
it keeps
even
going.
watching I mean, that's the TV. Those are the TV shows I grew up on, and the women were always trained to be hard asses back.
Yeah.
You know, like Julie. I remember she'd have her clipboard, and like one of the boys would say, like Gopher, be like, "I don't know, Julie, I like your ass in those pants." She'd be like, "Shut up, Gopher, you
Yeah.
creep,"
Yeah.
or like whatever
Yeah.
her comeback. And it was always like Flo. Remember Mel's Diner or
Yep.
Alice? That show Alice. Like it was always about the woman having a comeback and being. Yeah, there she is, and she was hooked on cocaine. I
Yeah.
remember that was the big thing. She was
Yeah.
doing a lot of blow.
And she disappears halfway through the run.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. And then I remember not liking the daughter living on the boat, the
Yeah.
Captain Stuving's daughter.
Yeah.
I felt it was inappropriate for her to witness all the things happening.
Yes, it was.
And I'm like, why is she on
You got to
there?
understand something. They made no note of any improprieties.
Right.
This was all like, cool, babe.
And like,
Cool,
why
man.
isn't she in school?
And by the way, well, they kind of make us stuff out of that. That every once in a while they'll slip in. Did you do your homework? Did you see the? But everybody drinks on the job.
Oh, that's cool.
Everybody, especially the doctor, drinks more than anybody. This is such a mess. It is
But
such
I mean, remember Johnny Carson, the Carson I grew up on? They smoked, they drank, they got ripped. Ed McMahon was ripped
Yeah.
every night. It was
Yeah.
a different time. I mean,
That's doing a talk show. These are people navigating a ship and running a medical unit on a
I
ship
know.
for 300 people or
I
1,000 people,
know.
whatever it's supposed to have been. I mean,
It was wild.
Please watch a couple episodes. We'll
remember
talk about
when people just smoked wherever they wanted?
it. Airplanes.
We used to smoke on tubes in the sky.
Yeah,
like,
airplanes.
sections.
Elevators.
elevators.
Anything.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Oh, and I took care of a lot of these people later in life.
Yeah.
And they had this weird thing, particularly the women, where it was tied into their identity. It was very strange. Like, I'm the woman with a martini and a
Yeah,
cigarette.
sure.
And I was like, we got to stop the cigarettes now. They would shake and start crying like some part of them was
Yeah.
dying. It was really wild.
I understand that. I smoked for 17 years, and it does become
did?
your identity. I started at 13, and then I quit at 30, and I loved it. I loved the ritual. I loved that it gave me something to do when I was anxious.
That's all good in terms of nicotine as a drug, tobacco as a drug, but this was identity.
maybe
I
after so
am
many
the
years.
liberated female that I smoke.
Oh, that's why.
I'm the smoking female.
Well, that was because
that was a thing in the 30s
you
and
were
40s.
a cowboy.
Remember, these
right?
are 30s and 40s I'm talking about. People from the 30s and 40s that I'm dealing with.
Right, it was a symbol of freedom to smoke. That
yeah.
was the advertising.
Yeah.
And you were a cowboy if you were a man,
Yeah.
and you were liberated if you were a woman, and you
Mm-hmm.
smoked. That's so fascinating. But that always was how
We
you
need
got kids to
to
smoke.
also we need to get you a lung scan just to be sure at
Oh,
some point.
fuck off!
At some
Really?
point. Yeah, at some point. Just to be sure, and a calcium scan on the coronaries.
What
just
am I
to-
going to do though? What can I have right now? Nodules or
Maybe a little COPD or nodules or
COPD? How would I know if I had that?
You get short of breath when you exerted yourself. A lot. I doubt you have much of that stuff. You were young enough that it was a big deal, but you did a pack a day for 17 years?
No, not a pack a day.
Oh, good.
No.
Half pack a day?
Half a pack a day.
All right, so it's 10 pack years, roughly speaking. That's not that bad.
Well, I
But-
quit at 30.
But I would still, if you were under my care, I'd be extra careful and get a scan every so often, every 10, 15 years.
Okay.
So, don't worry about it.
What if I get on my elliptical and I cough after? Is that because I smoked for
Might have been. Yeah, might have been.
Does that mean I have cancer?
No, nothing to do with it.
How would I know if I had lung cancer?
You don't.
Coughing blood?
Yeah, that's a sign. But it hides. That's why we do these scans.
Oh God.
Just to kind
all right.
All right, that's what I'm saying.
Shit.
That's all I'm saying. Just and it really at age 40, maybe one, age 50, maybe one, that kind of thing. Maybe 6.
Yeah.
Like 3 over the just early years to make sure, and then get a calcium scan as part of that to make sure that none of this affected your heart arteries, your coronary arteries.
Oh yeah, I did that already.
Good. Okay. See. Well, if they did that, they look at your lungs when they do it. You can see your lungs when you do it. So
Oh,
that's
they did the heart.
the calcium score.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just get the reading for me, and I'll look at what they
All
said
right,
about your
all
lungs.
right. Hey, what is mesothelioma, and why do old people have it so much right now?
They don't. The reason you see it on TV all the time is because there's a big class action against asbestos makers. And so if you're around asbestos, you worked in constructions in the 50s and 60s, and you smoked, you got mesothelioma.
That's pretty, and it's a pretty much universal deadly thing. It's not good.
Oh, it's
not
still
good.
Scary.
It's a lot of shit can happen. I think COVID sort of woke people up to the fact that we're biological.
It did for me,
and that's a good thing. That's a good
I think about
thing.
my mortality a lot more than I used to.
Let's do a couple TikTok. I know you want to do voice messages. Let's do a couple TikToks. Come on now.
TikTok,
What is? I want to know what
don't
Christina's
stop.
brought me.
You know,
Yo, when I say people stink, bro. I work at a fucking dispensary, and if I can smell you through the plexiglass and my mask, bro, take a bath.
I like her.
I love her. Yeah.
Yeah, she's the best.
But
do you then follow these people after you find them?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I have a hard time. I would have a hard time not following
She's
her.
it's so
Yeah.
interesting. I
Yeah.
want to know what her day to day is like.
Yeah,
Like
and?
what's it like? I mean, they don't put out regularly. Like,
Yeah,
sometimes
yeah,
people don't.
yeah.
So can you smell people through your mask as a medical doctor?
Oh yeah, sure. And that's the whole point. The aerosols get through the mask, and people have concerns about that. So the mask is not fail safe. You know, it's a risk reduction measure, as they
What's
say.
the grossest human smell to
The
you?
most overwhelming smell of all. I mean, the methane, the bowel stuff can go really deep.
Farts and cacas.
When you're opening up bowels and stuff, and dead tissue.
Dead tissue's got to be the worst.
It's called putrefaction.
Yeah.
And the worst smell I ever smelled in my entire career was a guy who had an empyema, an anaerobic empyema. It's the space between the lung. You asked about mesothelioma. That's in the pleura, the mesothelium, and there's a potential space between your lungs and the chest wall called the pleural space.
Mm-hmm.
And empyema. See that white thing on the right?
Empanema.
On your right.
Eponema.
That is filled with pus.
Oh man.
And we got into that doing a chest tube, and the smell.
Of that.
None of us could stay in the room.
Oh wow.
And it stayed in my nose for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
It was the strangest thing, and it was sort of a breathtaking smell. I can't describe it because it wasn't like farts and shit.
Yeah.
And it really wasn't like putrefaction, though it was going that way. It was something totally never experienced before. And so there you go.
I never even knew that could be a smell. That was exciting. You just discovered
I don't know
a new smell.
I don't know how to describe it.
Yeah.
It was sort of it's
Ooh.
sort of God, I don't know how to describe it.
Oh, yeah.
It was
like pussy and like fluidy.
No.
Funky, fluidy, no?
Like something flew out of that soup and bound to my nasal passages and would not let go.
Isn't that fascinating that the brain has trauma memories that are smell? Olfactory.
It's because the olfactory system is embedded deep in your brain, right where all the emotive centers are. It's the first thing it hits is emotion. That's why it evokes emotion and stuff too, and memories are right there.
Yeah.
So.
That's interesting. I was listening to a girl on a podcast who got into a severe car accident at 14, and she would always say, gosh, like I'd be just reliving the smells. All of a sudden the smell would come to me of the bag.
Yeah. Yes.
Opening.
Yeah.
That smell. I
Smell
thought,
and memories are.
so
Proust pointed that out. Remember the cookies and the smells? This was his big thing.
Oh yeah, you like Proust.
A little bit. I don't say I like him.
Talk about your
my
Franco
Francophile. Thank you. But that smells. He was the first sort of literary person to point out the deep connection between memories and smells. He kept talking about that. Let's do a couple more voice messages, please. I don't want to rap yet.
I know, let's jam on the one.
Hey, Dr. Mommies. My name's Paul from rural Oregon, and I had a quick question about yellow. So every guy knows when you take a piss, you got to do the good old shake off for a couple seconds, get that yellow out of there.
Yeah.
And I think for most people that usually does the job, but for me, for whatever reason, I'll sit there and shake for 15 seconds, and I'll stand up. I always pee sitting down. It's just kind of a habit. And, I pull my hands up and it's still dripping. It just keeps dripping.
Yeah.
And it drips sometimes for, 20 seconds after. It's like my underpants are dripped out and soaked. It's really annoying. So I was wondering if you could tell me why that is. Has anything to do with me always sitting down when I pee?
Ooh.
Is there something
Sits down when
wrong?
he pees?
What's
Why?
going on?
Consistently.
Thanks.
Why?
Piss
It's a
on my beanie.
preference.
Love you guys.
You just said it's a
Bye.
preference. I don't know why.
Huh.
He
Well,
did
that's
note
interesting that it's a preference, because I'm wondering if something's going on with his prostate already. There may be some stricturing or something. So I'm guessing that the reason he has the preference for sitting down is there's already something going on. Usually drip is big prostate, little incomplete emptying, that kind of thing, but he's not in that age group. So it makes me think about urethral stricturing, that sort of thing. And I would want to know, has he had STDs and things, because that's how you get those strictures. That's one of the complications of them. But here's the deal. You have been good enough to share with us urinating into a diaper. You've been forthcoming.
Thank you.
And you like it when I'm forthcoming and honest about things. And
let's
when you learn things, let's just get on with it.
I love it. Don't be coy. Why are you doing the setup?
So
who are you? Who are we?
Get right to it.
Yeah, like
Just
what's the
piss in that diaper?
artifice?
Let's
yeah,
go.
shit.
So I had my prostate removed for prostate cancer. Yes.
I know. I
Yes.
love hearing about this one.
Yeah.
You don't make white.
Yeah, don't make white. There's no fluid when I ejaculate, but there is also no restriction on my flow. Like men my age often have a little bit of a difficult time starting, or maybe a little retained. I got none of that. Everything's coming out freely, but the drip at the end is a whole new procedure.
Right.
So much like him, I've got the shake is universal. All men do that, right? That don't do it. That do not do it. I have roughly another minute 30 of dabbing and drying and shaking. And it's a whole thing I got to go through now. Maybe a minute, but it's a little weird in the airport. I always have to grab something. I had to go in the stall to do it, because it's like, bro, what's going on with the paper towel?
You've got to stand there for a full minute to finish your...
To just make sure it will really, in the beginning, I was like, oh my, what's going on with my pants? They're wet.
Yeah.
So I did not like that.
Sure.
So in order to get all the way through, and the urologist sits there and goes, yeah, by the time you're 65, that's what you'd be doing anyway. Relax.
That's what I hear, that it's a function of age in men. It just kind of happens.
It happens from the prostate sort of closing in on the urethra. It's sort of why that happens. But I don't have a prostate, so it's not an issue for me. I have this other thing. It affects the... It's when you think about nature and the extraordinary things we're able to do normally,
I know
that they go out of line a little bit, and things just don't work the way they're designed to work, which is so fascinating to me.
Such an intricate system.
Yes.
Everything operates together, and it's just it's a miracle that it all goes well for as long as it does.
We're biological. One more voicemail. Come on.
I know, bros.
And then maybe one more.
Hi, Dr. Jeans. Hi, Mommy Jeans.
Dr. Jean.
My name is Hannah. Recovering heroin addict. I have 18 months clean.
Good.
And I have a question about this last time I had to go through detox. I was in this detox facility, and I'm going through all the symptoms, and I have bad restless legs, and I'm like rubbing my legs together, and I make myself come super, super hard. And I found that was the only way to relieve the symptoms, but never in my life have I been able to come that easy unless I'm withdrawing. And so you can pretty much imagine it was just this masturbation-a-thon in the detox facility, which is really awkward if you have roommates. But anyway, I just was wondering if there was any correlation between the withdrawal and the ability to orgasm.
Yeah.
So anyway, I love you guys. Kiss on me, beat me. Coming up in May. Bye.
Thank you, honey. Hannah's got it all there.
Yeah.
So thank you, Hannah. This is great, interesting question.
I've never heard of such a thing.
I have not heard that either, but I do know the orgasmic function goes all over the place when people are on or off opiates. So that's a given. That just happens. And some of that is some of the descending stuff coming out of your brain from the opiate system. But she seemed to equate it with the restless leg. Now, what I couldn't tell was the restless leg what triggered her to have the orgasm. Like she was doing the restless leg, and then she got aroused, and then boom. But there may be something. So the restless leg is caused by dopaminergic imbalance in the spinal cord level. And we use a lot of Mirapex to help with that, and it gets better. And some of the back pain and leg pain they get in withdrawal is actually restless leg, and not something about the opioid system. It's restless leg can be very, very painful. And so something's already going on in the spinal cord, right? But orgasm is more of a sympathetic and parasympathetic system, which is also firing out of control when you're in withdrawal, primarily the sympathetic system. So for her, I don't know, it's just everything's out of whack, and these systems are,
how can I say this, out of balance in a way they would not be in a normal state. So
and what a blessing in the skies, as they say, to have that happen as you're coming off of drugs. It's kind of a nice thing, I'd imagine.
Not only that, the reason I brought up Mirapex, I'm saying it seems like her restless leg was not bothering her because she could do this.
Yeah.
And so good for her. Better you orgasm than have more medication.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, at least she had that.
One more TikTok.
TikTok.
I'm not done.
Stop. TikTok. Oh, Jesus. This one's...
That was the dog making...
I know. That's cool, right? I didn't know a dog could make that noise.
It's like sort of part husky, part not. The husky part's making all the racket. One more TikTok. Come on.
Isn't that
Come
cute?
on. I can't stop.
Did you love that?
I do like that.
Ladies, ain't nothing like pulling your man boxers down, okay? And watching that thing boing, out like it's on hydraulics. Tell me I'm lying. Tell me I'm lying.
That's cute, right? Yeah, you like that. You like
I like
that.
the sound effect. Susan had a famous appearance on Fox, not Fox, but on what's the Channel 5 morning show?
KTLA.
KTLA 5 morning. Good morning, whatever. And she was the chairman of this committee to put a charity fund on for Hillsides Home for Children, hillsides.org. We support them very aggressively. And it's a great place. Check it out. And she was putting on this huge fundraiser. And the night before, she had been chased by some dude who pulled up to her in a truck and pulled his penis out and started going, and then sped after her all the way down to 134.
Oh, no.
Freaked her the hell out and kept pulling up alongside her with the peni out.
Yeah.
And so she called into Loveline that night to tell the story because it had just happened. And Adam said, "You have to tell it on the air.
Yeah.
Let's hear this." And she told the story about this guy chasing her and stuff. It was kind of scary.
Yeah.
And so the next morning we were due on KTLA 5 to promote this charity event. And Sam Rubin goes, "Hey, I heard you on Loveline last night. I heard that you got chased by some dude who was showing you his privates." And she goes, "I know. I was going down the freeway and I looked over and all of a sudden, boing.
And I'm sure KTLA
I was like, oh my God. I couldn't believe she did that. Until I was like, okay, we have a charity.
Well, I can't believe Sam Rubin brought it up. That show is...
I don't think he expected the full... I don't think he knew Mrs. Pinsky.
Yeah.
Anal starts at 50. If he understood that, if he listened to a little of Where My Mom's At, I think she needs to be back on, by the way. She's dying to get back on with you. So,
I love that KTLA. They're so nice there. You realize how civilized television and entertainment can be when you do a morning show?
Oh, when you go over there.
You come here and you're like, wow. Like, those are professionals.
But they're extra nice.
They're amazingly kind. Yeah.
All right, so that's good. I feel like I've properly...
you closed on a boy.
Yeah, I've properly cleansed my palate here, and we're ready to go. I feel good. Again, the number is 818-253-1693. I got it right. Yeah, and don't forget store.ymhstudios.com. Buy the swag. Get the coffee mug with the Roush. We didn't do any Roush Revolution.
I know. I'm like,
but that's catching on my social media. And my son invented a new term that you would like too.
What's that?
He wants to be the representative of the rational Renaissance.
Oh, that's interesting.
And so he wants to have philosophical sort of renewal of meaningful philosophy from the past that has present day import.
Oh, that's interesting. I like that.
And he calls that the rational Renaissance.
Very interesting.
I knew you would sign off on this.
Very nice juxtaposition.
Yes, so now we have rational Renaissance and rational recovery.
You finger blast that truth.
Oh, no.
Finger blast.
No. But anyway, watch my social media for that. And then maybe we can get some of these voice messages that are just so good. I wonder if, what if I should do a show someday, just voice messages if you're not available?
That's a good idea.
Yeah, just voice messages and emails and just do a straight out Loveline-esque type show.
Not a bad idea.
It's not, you need the funny to make that stuff digestible, but our callers are sort of funny.
Yeah. They got the
so,
personality.
Yeah,
it's not a bad idea.
Maybe that's something we can do.
Yeah.
All right, everybody, thank you for being here. We will see you next time.
Bye, Mommy.
All conversations and information exchanged during participation in the Dr. Drew After Dark podcast or interaction on the drdrew.com website is intended for educational and entertainment purposes only. Do not confuse this with treatment or physician medical advice or direction per se. You must always follow your medical professional's advice and direction. Nothing on these podcasts or posted on this site supplements or supersedes the relationship and direction of your medical caretakers. Please understand, I am not playing the role of physician in this environment per se. I'm educating. I am a licensed physician with specialty boards in American Board of Internal Medicine and American Board of Addiction Medicine.